While building a new chicken coop in our backyard, we decided to put the command and control center for it in our garden window. This is where our remote chicken coop door opening and closing and indication system will be located. Additionally, our electronic systems for maintaining a constant watch on the temperature inside the coop will be located here. After getting all of this set up, we had quite a surprise. The third line down told us it was 37.9 degrees Fahrenheit inside the coop. That's acceptable. But the last line said it was only 56.7 degrees in the house. That's unacceptable. The girls have feathers. We don't. As it turns out, the air inside our garden window is about 11 degrees cooler than the rest of the house. We decided we really needed to do something about that. The quick check of the internet showed us that the Star Wars plasma fields, they're not quite ready for retail distribution yet, so we had to come up with our own system. A trip down to our local hardware store and a plan soon developed. We bought a box of 30-year-old technology and dug up some spare wood laying around the house. As a quick side note, the local furniture manufacturing plant in the area, they throw away all this nice solid oak because they consider it waste. Over the years, with the proper tools and time, I've built many beautiful projects without spending any money for oak. When dealing with unfinished lumber or lumber that's an odd size, the planer can be your best friend. First, I cut all the boards down to roughly the size they need to be, so I don't plane any more wood than I have to. Start with the biggest pieces of wood and start planing them down, turning them over and over and over. When you're finished with this step, all of your project stock will be exactly the same size, or the right size that you need it to be, and all four corners or sides will be square. When you need to make some high precision 45-degree cuts, the chop saw is the tool to use. It takes probably an entire half a second to set it up, and you're making very accurate cuts. Since we're going to be using a brad nail gun to attach this wood, clamping is very important. Oak is a very, very hard wood. If it's not clamped into place, as soon as you pull the trigger on the brad nail gun, it's going to cause the other piece of wood to move on you.
Okay, here's a very, very important tip. I used to make this mistake all the time when I first started woodworking. This line, there's two sides to cut on. This blade right here is like a 1/16 of an inch thick, and if you cut on the wrong side of the line, it will make a significant difference in your project. It won't work. So, when you're making your line, put a little check mark or the letter C for cut or something on one side, so that when you go to cut it, you always know the correct side to cut on. And there you have it. You can still see my line right here. And cut slowly. This is oak. It's hard to cut. If you cut too fast, it'll splinter. And let the blade do your work for you. There's a lot of teeth there, and they're eager to eat wood.
For those people wondering what the red laser beams on my hand was, that's part of my automotive parking system. Instead of using tennis balls, I use laser beams.
Before we do our final staple, we want to make sure that the frame is square. And the easiest way to do that is measure diagonally from one corner to the other. 58 inches. And 58 inches. Because the Pythagorean theorem states the sum of two sides is equal to the sum of the diagonals. So if this side and that side are equal, which they are, and I've cut them, and this side are equal, that means this line from here to here, and this line from here to here has to be equal. If they're not, that means what I've probably done is you have it at an angle like this. So it will be shorter from here to here, and longer from here to here. Math, a wonderful thing.
I just noticed I forgot to say the word square when I gave you the formula. So here's the written formula to clarify any confusion that I may have caused. And while we have the sketch pad out, take a look at this. The triangle on the bottom left is the first measurement we made. The triangle on the bottom right is the second measurement we made. Since both measurements were the same length, that means the angle opposite was 90 degrees, which makes it square. Now that we know it's square, go ahead and put your next set of brad nails in. To finish up the last corner, we have to take into account the control panel. The frame has to go up and around and over the top of it.
Okay, we've built a basic framework. Instead of going with a square, we needed to add a little notch there for the chicken coop door opener. Now, this structure by itself is inherently not real stable. It flexes back and forth and stuff. So to fix that, we're going to add 2 more braces. We're going to take one brace, run it across here, then we're going to take another brace and run it across here. And that'll give us a nice solid structure. There we go. We've added the cross supports. Now look at that. This thing is very, very sturdy. You can handle it any way you want, and it won't break, it won't fall apart. But the problem is, it's just square wood. There's no character here. That's where your router comes into play. You go ahead and you take a look at all your bit selections, and any bit that has a roller bearing on the end of it like this is designed to be run along the side of the board and create a cut on the side of the wood. Now, I personally think that any wood that's been rounded over very smoothly is always much nicer to handle and look at than just a sharp edge right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this round over bit, and I'm going to go ahead and round over all the edges of this piece of wood. Okay, now that we've finished using the router to give our frame charisma, you can see that the frame now is more than just square pieces of wood. It's actually got a real nice shape to it. The joints look good. Now it's raw wood at this time, and even though raw oak looks good, we're going to improve it even more by throwing a coat of stain on it.
Here we finally finished staining, and we gave it 24 hours to dry.
After the stain has dried, it's time to throw on a protective coating of polyurethane superior durability clear semi-gloss. This will help do several things. Keep the moisture out of the wood. It'll also make the wood look real nice and shiny, semi-shiny. And give it a coating so that when we go to stick on that plastic shrinking, it's got tape that's supposed to go on there, and it'll give the tape something you can grab onto other than wood.
Here's a close-up of the woodworking. We've routed it, stained it, and put one clear coat on it. If you want it to be shinier or have a deeper look, you put more than one clear coat on it. Before putting our plastic on, make sure you do a fit check.
Alright, now it's time to put on the insulation. Take out the roll of tape and apply it. We have to apply it to the bottom side because it's going to be sitting pretty flush. And then apply it to the sides, all the way around.
Take the plastic out of the box, completely cover your entire frame, leaving about 2 inches hanging over all the sides.
We've laid the film out across the, what do you call this thing?
Framework?
The framework, there you go. We've laid the film out across the framework, and we've pulled the tape off.
Sealed the edges.
Okay, we pulled the second coating of the tape off and sealed the edges, and now it's nice and tight across there and stuck to the frame.
Here's where the real magic comes in. Just by putting a hot air gun about a 1/4 inch above it and running it up and down and all along the plastic, it shrinks it up and makes it clear. You can actually see the wrinkles disappearing as the gun goes over it. The final product looks just like a sheet of glass. Once you put your project in the window, it not only looks good, it stops the cold weather, but it's also removable so you can get in there and take care of your plants. This is actually looking out through the window with the framework installed. You can't even see the plastic. That's it. Thanks for watching.